Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. In a minute or so we're going to talk about McKenna, but it's been interesting that Willie Haughey was pictured at Celtic Park last night, and along with Susan Whelan, the Irish woman who is no longer at Leicester. She's got an interesting CV and she's got an interesting Company's House directorial role also, obviously at Leicester City Football Club. Now let's get on to the main story of this afternoon, what you all want to hear about. Kieran McKenna has had an interview. He's done his weekly press conference at Ipswich Town, despite being linked with Celtic vacancy. He says, we have a lot of Scottish representatives in here today. It's not something that I've given any thought to, talking about the Celtic job. He says, my part is to concentrate on the job I have here. I have a special job here. It's a special football club. It's a massive club. We're really at an important stage of the season starting on Saturday at QPR. My focus has been 100% on the group here. My focus is honestly on Ipswich. I know the size and the significance of this football club, so there is no time or space to discuss any other football club. I've not heard from any of those. I've not or had any formal conversations with Celtic. My focus has been here. I work here as if I'm going to be here forever. Every football manager says that. Every manager says that. I've done that since the day I come in. When I arrived, I always knew it was going to be a long-term project. We are in the middle of that. I approach this job like I'll be Ipswich manager forever. I know there's always going to be the case, but I'm doing my best as long as I am here. I will always do my best as long as I am here. Celtic are a really big football club. Growing up, we all have our affinities. He's a Tim! We all have our affinities. I don't think anyone has to go around and announce the club they support. But of course, it's a really big football club. But we are at a really busy stage of our own season. McKenna was also asked about the reported $5 million release clause. In every manager's contract, there are always contractual things in the contract. I don't know what they are. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you anyway. That's about all he said. He's concentrating on the job. That's it. That is the update. There has been no talk. There has been no talks from him and Celtic. No official talks. There has been no contact. And that's it. Notice that some of the big media outlets are now breaking the news also. They're saying he's issued a response to being linked to the next Celtic manager. I don't think it was a really big response. I think the fact that he's obviously been a Celtic fan growing up, and every time. Oh, you! Shut up. Every time. You do it on purpose, don't you? Right, anyway, back to it. That's the breaking news today, that Kieran McKenna hasn't spoke to anyone at Celtic. He does admit that Celtic is a big job. He's been asked about the $5 million release clause, and he said that he's going to say he doesn't even know what his release clause is. Let's be real, if Ipswich gets back into the Premier League, they'll get relegated again. A contract is a contractual thing. It's a contract. Yeah. At the end of the day, most managers just leave the contract stuff, and most players, they don't know the ins and outs of a contract. They just know how much money they're going to be paid, and that's all they're really worried about. I mean, obviously there will be some kind of release clause in there, but let's talk about changes, because in this picture here, you see the people of the board. You see Michael Nicholson, you see Dermot Desmond, you see Willie Haughey, who's has always been close to Celtic over the last as many years. You see Peter Lawwell, whose face is scrubbed out, and you see Susan Valerie Whelan. Now, what is the significance of her being at Celtic Park? There was a rumour going around on Monday that there were going to be changes at Celtic Park at boardroom level. She, being Irish, is obviously a close confidant to Dermot Desmond, the Irish connection. My gut's telling me Bellamy's the next answer. No, Bellamy has spoke, and the Welsh have also spoke today. Bellamy is 100% want to be the manager of Wales going into the World Cup. It's a big, massive month for him. He is not ready to leave Wales as yet, and as Bellamy says, he said it's a massive job. I want to get to the World Cup. I want to take Wales to the World Cup, and that's what he plans on doing. So I don't think that he's going to get to Celtic either. Robert, you're coming out with the most sensible comment today. No rush. O'Neill and Maloney will be capable till January. Yeah, I think so. Celtic are in a position where we're actually things aren't as bad as what we maybe thought. I mean, we'll wait until the game this weekend. I mean, we might get absolutely hammered this weekend and the players go back into their shells, but I don't think so. I think we've seen enough last night for Martin O'Neill to make a big enough impact on these players. I mean, it was Martin O'Neill that gave the players the motivation to just go out and play football. Do you know, whatever happened at the training ground over the last couple of days was just about keeping them the pace and everything. I mean, it's all coming out that Martin O'Neill is basically gave the motivational speech of his life to these players, and it worked. It worked. Susan Whelan left Leicester because she had a fallout with the board member. Couldn't blame her. He's a dick, according to Leicester fans. Yeah, but it's interesting that she was invited to. I mean, there was all the chat on Monday that there was going to be. And this isn't just on Monday. There was chat at the weekend. There was chat at the weekend that there were going to be changes boardroom level. Now, whatever happened on Monday with you know, whether he was coming in to resign and he was told, don't even fucking come in, you're sacked. You know, there's different versions of conversations now going that Rodgers phoned up to have an interview at Celtic, have a meeting, a clear the air meeting. If we can get back to being close friends and we can move forward. If not, we'll just call it a day. Call it a day, mate. You're sat. We accept your resignation. Oh, wait a minute, I didn't fucking resign. Who cares? You're going fucking out the door. And Martin O'Neill came back. What if Martin O'Neill gets us fire in Europe again? It'll be a hard task for any new manager. I don't think it'll be a hard task for any new manager. I think that it's the team are playing the way that we expected them to play from the start of the season. I think that we can all agree that. Now, whatever's going on at boardroom level with this lot, being back in the house, especially Willie Hawkey, that's an interesting one that Dermot's called him back in to. I mean, there must have been meetings going on at Celtic Park. There's been high-level conversations going on at Celtic Park before. Whilst all the fans were outside demonstrating against the board, Dermot Desmond is inside. He is inside having high-level talks with board members and one potential kick-ass board member. But we'll wait and see. It'll be interesting if they were at Celtic Park today. We'll end up with Robbie Keane. No, Robbie Keane, he's also been speaking to the media. Robbie Keane, his team played a game last night. Let me just get an update on that. Speaking after the game last night, it was a very professional. This is Robbie Keane after the game last night where his team won. He said it was a very professional performance. They scored very good goals. Overall, I'm satisfied. We're doing well in terms of cups, but I expect the same energy performance against tough opponents this weekend. And that's really that. Nothing about the Celtic job. I don't think, I mean, Robbie Keane's missus has been on social media saying that they've been getting all sorts of stick over there. It'll be interesting if Robbie Keane is ready to jump ship. I mean, Robbie Keane is high up in, I'm just checking at Sky Sports News in case they give us another update. But they're probably going to come out with the Kieran McKenna interview any minute now. But anyway, that's update. Robbie Keane. Would you accept Robbie Keane? I don't think that we're in too much of a hurry. That is the main thing. When Martin O'Neill, the way that he got the team playing last night, I think that it was massive. Let's put her down there, them down there, the board members. Wonder what's going on with the board. Will we get McKenna? I mean, he's not saying no. And that's what was interesting about his press conference today. He never said no. He just said that he knows about it and there has been no conversations. There's been no talks. No talks whatsoever between himself and Celtic. And the amount of Scottish press that were done there is a laugh. But anyway. Just check one more thing. No, that's it. Let's jump into the comment section and see what you're saying to it this afternoon. Please no, Robbie Keane. Would you keep O'Neill as director of football? Mate, I put this picture up there of Martin O'Neill when I was calling for Martin O'Neill to be brought in as even CEO. I think he's someone that can, not so much on a football terms, but he's someone that could be at the club and he could make it better between the fans and the board. You know, I'm not saying that he's going to be a peacemaker and there's going to be peace negotiations. I don't think there will be. I think there will have to be changes with this lot here. I mean, it's interesting that this woman was there. She doesn't get invited to the boardroom at Celtic Park for no reason. For no reason. You know, and especially after our exploits as running Leicester City. One game in and you're talking as if there's no crisis at the club. Of course there's a crisis at the club. I've never said there's not a crisis at the club. I said, how am I saying there's no crisis at the club? We've went through change. We went through massive change. There is still plenty more. And go back, Koji, go back and check a lot of the videos from the last couple of days because I've said that there still needs to be changes and I've spoken about it. And I've been speaking consistently about Martin O'Neill being brought in. So even listening to the radio last night, the atmosphere has massively changed. Yep, O'Neill was asked about staying at Celtic and directorial role. He said if that's what's needed, I would. During his presser the other day. I think it's congratulations to Graham who's just become a member. Who circled the people? There was a video that's a picture that I got sent. There was quite a few people been talking about this over the last 2 or 3 hours. But there's one thing is she doesn't get called up for no reason. Kieran McKenna has ruled himself out. No, he's not ruled himself out. Nothing but he's just said that he's not had any formal contact. Now we know the way that this thing works out. Formal contact doesn't happen straight away. It goes through intermediaries. It goes through agents first of all. I'm not saying that there hasn't been contact. He's not said that there's not been. He said that there's not been direct contact with him. That's all he said. Anyway, that's us for the update this afternoon. Join me at 8 p.m. Celtic part-time tonight. Make sure to hit the like button, share the video and subscribe to the channel. On that note, it's going to be an interesting couple of hours because I wonder if there may be some movement this afternoon. On that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.